Late Night Health continues. During hour 2 of our show, Tania Dempsey will be joining us, and we're going to be finding out, are you allergic to yourself? I know that you're allergic to me, Daryl, but...
well, I keep my distance here.
That's right.
Or you're in the glass booth.
And we'll need a glass bubble. That's what we
Bubble
need.
boy.
Our guest is Dr. Tatiana H. Urban. She is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Prosperity Through Emotional Intuition, and her new book is The Reluctant Intuitive, and this is on a division of Hay House on Balboa Press. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're
Exciting.
welcome. So, as you're walking down the street in Raleigh, North Carolina, do you see people's auras and say, oh my God, that one's black, I got to warn them?
You know, I do my very best to be as normal and as filtered as anyone that I encounter when I'm going about my day-to-day. And I think that most of us don't realize that we've done the same thing for ourselves. You can really put up filters, and it's a natural thing to do because as children, we're told what's there and what isn't there, right? How many children are telling you there's something in the room or under the bed or in the closet? And like, no, that's not real. So we get really good at building filters, and I have my own.
And in your work, in working with people, you're a counselor, an intuitive,
True.
a coach.
Yes.
Do you ever say, don't take that train ride?
Oh, yes. Because if a client comes to see me and they're open to what I perceive in their field, and I do most of my perceiving while they're lying on a table and my eyes are closed. I'm trained in medical intuitive modalities and chakra clearing and being able to see their auric energy with my eyes closed, as well as their physiology. If I get a hit that there is something foreboding and I ask their permission to share that with them, yes, I do tell them.
Okay. Well, we ask you to clear our chakras, and especially our big bellies. We've been trying.
You got it. Energy coming at you from a distance.
You got it. The other thing that is unique about your book is that it's a practical guide. In other words, it's not just a read. You give tips in here on how to change your life for the better.
My goal is to show in a really subtle and clean assessment tool at the end of the book that there are many day-to-day occurrences that many of us are having that we don't make mental note of, very similar to the first book that you were referencing, you know, about God winking, to start waking people up to what abilities are already there. And once they start to pay attention to that, they'll start to awaken some of their latent potential that is always looking to come forward. Because every practitioner that does this work will tell you the more they do it, the more abilities awaken within themselves and fine-tune.
I'm going to use the word psychic. Would you say you're a psychic, or is that not a good definition of Tatiana?
You know, Mark, forgive me, I've never liked the word medium or psychic because I think that too many people associate even sometimes the psychics and mediums themselves, not all of them, mind you, but some of them. There's a lot to do with invading someone's psychic energy, reading them against their will, maybe using some disingenuous tactics and techniques. And because I believe that psychic and medium don't really express a specialness, they express more of a specialness rather than a generality of this is an ability. We use less than 10% of our brains. That should be an unacceptable understanding for any of us. And if we were to tap into more of it, we would all be walking around with those medium and those psychic abilities, kind of like those great movies, Limitless, you know, with
Sure.
and Lucy, where we have access to ourselves. So
well, I've always
wanted
wanted two powers. I've always wanted X-ray vision, mostly when I was in junior high school, and you can figure out why with the girls' gym being close by. But the other one would be being able to read people's minds. Not all the time. I want to be able to look at Daryl and know he thinks I'm really stupid. You know.
And you can.
And can you?
Unfortunately, because of some of my 12-step program, I'm brutally honest. Just ask sometime.
Oh, yeah, he does. He just calls it like it is, and he should. We only have a minute and a half left. I mentioned the red and the blue pill on the cover of the Reluctant Intuitive. That has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. What does it have to do with?
No, far from. For all of those Matrix cult fans, they'll recognize it immediately. Do you want to experience going down the rabbit hole and waking up, red pill? Or do you want to stay asleep, blue pill? And a lot of Americans in particular are choosing to stay asleep. I'm encouraging you, given all the crazy chaos in the world, a lot of it to do with Republicans and Democrats. Isn't this a good time to wake up and start using that discernment?
Absolutely, and I think that's a good way of ending today's conversation. Thank you. You're terrific. I want to say ta-ta.
It was really so much fun.
I want to say ta-ta for now, but I won't, because what we'll do is you're going to come back in about 6 weeks, and we'll continue our conversation. We'll talk about epigenetics and maybe a little bit more of the health issue. We just needed a taste of what Tatiana H. Irvin is all about, the author of The Reluctant Intuitive. Thank you again. We look forward to our next conversation. Coming up next, Robert Clancy, the author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul. Don't go away. More coming up as Daryl and I move forward here on Late Night Health. Join us at latenighthealth.com.